Welcome to Haunting Narratives. Today, prepare to be enthralled and chilled as we delve into the eerie and unknown. Join me as we journey through tales of restless spirits, chilling encounters, and haunted places. Grab your blankets, dim the lights, and let's explore the shadows together. Welcome to a world where every whisper carries a shiver, and every tale leaves a haunting mark. The darkness within. In the quiet town of Ravenswood, nestled deep in the mist-shrouded forests of New England, there was an old mansion that stood abandoned for decades. Its weathered facade loomed ominously against the backdrop of towering pines, casting long shadows that seemed to reach out like skeletal fingers. Locals whispered of its cursed history, of tragic deaths and unexplained disappearances. Most avoided the mansion, believing it harbored an evil presence. One stormy night, a group of thrill-seeking teenagers dared each other to spend the night in the mansion. Among them was Emily, a skeptic who scoffed at the superstitions surrounding the place. As they entered, the air grew colder, and the once sturdy floorboards creaked underfoot. Cobwebs clung to the walls like veils of forgotten memories, and the smell of decay permeated the air. As the hours passed, tension mounted among the group. Strange noises echoed through the halls, whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. Shadows danced in the flickering candlelight, playing tricks on their weary minds. Emily, despite her bravado, felt a creeping unease settle in her chest. Suddenly, they heard a blood-curdling scream from upstairs. Panic seized the group as they rushed to investigate. Upstairs, they found one of their friends, Lucas, frozen in terror before a darkened doorway. He muttered about a figure lurking in the shadows, a figure with glowing eyes and a chilling presence. Determined to unravel the mystery, Emily led the group deeper into the mansion. Each room they entered seemed to hold a piece of the mansion's dark past. A child's nursery with broken toys, a dusty library filled with ancient tomes, and a grand ballroom where phantom music echoed hauntingly. As they delved further, they discovered a hidden chamber beneath the mansion, a chamber untouched by time. Inside, they found a series of disturbing artifacts: a rusted cage, arcane symbols etched into the walls, and a diary belonging to a former resident who spoke of summoning dark forces to gain immortality. Their exploration took a sinister turn when they realized they were not alone. Shadows twisted and contorted, taking on monstrous forms that whispered dreadful secrets. Emily's skepticism melted away as fear gripped her heart like icy claws. The mansion itself seemed to pulse with malevolent energy, feeding off their terror. In a desperate bid to escape, they found themselves trapped in a labyrinth of corridors that shifted and changed, leading them deeper into the darkness. Each step brought them closer to a horrifying truth: the mansion was alive, a sentient being fueled by anguish and suffering, seeking to claim their souls. Just when all hope seemed lost, Emily remembered a passage from the diary, an incantation that could banish the darkness once and for all. With trembling hands, she recited the words, her voice a fragile whisper against the cacophony of despair. For a moment, the mansion trembled as if in agony, then fell silent. As dawn broke, the group emerged from the mansion, shaken but alive. Behind them, the old mansion crumbled into ruins, its dark secrets buried forever. Emily looked back one last time, haunted by the horrors they had witnessed, but amidst the fear and unease, she felt a glimmer of relief. The darkness within had been vanquished, and they had survived. In the days that followed, the town of Ravenswood reclaimed its peace, but the memory of that fateful night lingered like a ghostly whisper. Emily knew she would never forget the darkness that had lurked within the mansion's walls, a darkness that had tested their courage and resilience. As for the mansion itself, it remained a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers that lurk in forgotten corners of the world, waiting to ensnare the unwary. And though the scars of their ordeal would never fully heal, Emily and her friends carried with them a newfound strength, the knowledge that they had faced their deepest fears and emerged victorious. Thus, the tale of the darkness within became a legend, whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones, a testament to the enduring power of fear and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of the unknown. Our journey through the darkness continues with this next unsettling account. The Phantom Bride. In the sleepy village of Willow Creek, nestled amidst ancient forests and rolling hills, there was a tale that sent shivers down the spine of every resident. The legend of the Phantom Bride. It was said that on moonless nights, a spectral figure could be seen wandering along the banks of the mist-shrouded river, her bridal gown trailing behind her like wisps of fog. Locals whispered that she was a lost soul, doomed to roam the earth in search of her beloved. One fateful autumn evening, a group of curious teenagers decided to investigate the legend. Among them was Alex, a skeptic who dismissed the stories as mere superstition. Armed with flashlights and nervous laughter, they ventured into the woods that bordered the village, determined to uncover the truth behind the Phantom Bride. As they walked deeper into the forest, the air grew thick with an eerie silence broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. The moon hung low in the sky, casting elongated shadows that seemed to reach out like grasping fingers. Alex's skepticism wavered as a sense of unease settled over the group like a heavy blanket. They reached the riverbank where, according to legend, the Phantom Bride was often sighted. The water flowed gently, reflecting the silvery glow of the moon above. Just as Alex was about to scoff at their wild goose chase, a chill wind swept through the trees, extinguishing their flashlights in an instant. Darkness enveloped them like a shroud. Heartbeats quickened as they fumbled to relight their flashlights, their nerves on edge. That's when they heard it. A faint, mournful wail carried on the wind, like a lament from a bygone era. The group froze, their breaths catching in their throats. Then, through the veil of darkness, they saw her. A figure in a tattered bridal gown, her face obscured by a veil that fluttered in the breeze. Panic surged as they stumbled backward, their minds racing with fear. The Phantom Bride glided toward them with an otherworldly grace, her presence filling the air with a palpable sense of sorrow and longing. Alex's skepticism shattered like glass as he locked eyes with the apparition, sensing a profound sadness that transcended the boundaries of life and death. In a desperate bid to escape, the group fled through the woods, branches scratching at their faces and thorns tearing at their clothes. The Phantom Bride pursued them relentlessly, her haunting cries echoing through the night. They stumbled upon an old, dilapidated cabin hidden deep within the forest, a last refuge against the relentless pursuit of the spectral bride. Inside the cabin, fear-stricken and breathless, they huddled together, their minds racing with disbelief and terror. The cabin creaked and groaned as if bearing witness to their dread. Hours passed like eternities as they waited in dread anticipation, wondering if they would ever see the light of day again. As dawn approached, the forest grew still, and the cries of the Phantom Bride faded into silence. Exhausted but alive, the group emerged from the cabin, their faces pale and their eyes haunted by the night's ordeal. The village of Willow Creek greeted them with the first light of morning, oblivious to the horrors that had unfolded in the darkness of the forest. In the days that followed, Alex and his friends struggled to make sense of their encounter with the Phantom Bride. Some dismissed it as a shared hallucination brought on by fear, while others clung to the belief that they had witnessed something beyond comprehension. Alex, however, carried with him a newfound respect for the supernatural, a reminder that some mysteries were not meant to be unraveled. As time passed, the legend of the Phantom Bride continued to haunt the village of Willow Creek, a cautionary tale passed down through generations, and though Alex eventually moved away from the village, he could never forget the spectral figure that had tested his beliefs and left an indelible mark on his soul. To this day, whenever he hears the mournful cry of the wind or catches a glimpse of moonlight dancing on water, Alex remembers the night he came face to face with the Phantom Bride, a reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead, and the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of the unknown. Hold on to your fears as we unravel our next ominous story. The Maze of Madness. In the heart of a desolate countryside, shrouded in perpetual mist, stood an ancient estate known as Ravenshade Manor. Its sprawling gardens were famed for their labyrinth, a maze of towering hedges that seemed to shift and twist with a will of their own. Local lore whispered of the maze's dark history, where countless souls had entered, never to return. It was said that those who dared to venture inside would lose their minds to its labyrinthine depths, trapped forever in a maze of madness. One chilly autumn evening, a group of friends on a road trip stumbled upon Ravenshade Manor. Among them was Sarah, a thrill-seeker fascinated by the macabre. Ignoring the warnings of locals, they ventured into the estate grounds, drawn by the allure of the legendary maze. The moon cast an eerie glow over the overgrown hedges as they entered, their footsteps echoing softly in the stillness. As they navigated the labyrinth's winding paths, a sense of unease settled over the group. The air grew colder, and the once clear sky darkened with foreboding clouds. Shadows danced between the hedge walls, playing tricks on their senses. Sarah's excitement gave way to trepidation as they realized the maze was not just a physical challenge, but a psychological one. Hours passed with no sign of escape. Panic gripped them as they retraced their steps, only to find themselves back at the same juncture. Time seemed to warp within the maze, disorienting their senses and testing their resolve. Sarah's nerves frayed as whispers echoed through the labyrinth, a chorus of voices that spoke of despair and madness. Just as hope began to wane, they stumbled upon a clearing in the maze, a neglected fountain adorned with weathered statues. Sarah's gaze fixed upon a stone inscription at its base, which spoke of a curse that bound lost souls to the maze's depths. Fear clawed at her chest as she realized the gravity of their situation. The maze was alive with malevolent intent, feeding off their confusion and fear. In a desperate bid to find an exit, they pressed onward, their hearts pounding with dread. Each turn revealed new horrors, a specter that flickered at the edge of vision, whispers that seemed to crawl beneath their skin. Sarah's mind raced with fear as they encountered dead ends that led to deadlier traps, a pitfall that nearly claimed one of their own, and illusions that distorted reality. As exhaustion set in, tensions mounted among the group, trust eroded as paranoia took hold, each member suspecting the maze of manipulating their thoughts. Sarah, determined to unravel the maze's secrets, forged ahead alone. Her footsteps echoed in the eerie silence, each corner turned with trepidation. At the maze's heart, she discovered a hidden chamber, a place untouched by time, where the maze's true nature lay bare. Symbols etched into stone walls pulsed with an ominous glow, and an ancient tome lay open on an altar. Sarah's hands trembled as she deciphered the arcane text. A ritual that promised escape but demanded a sacrifice. In a moment of clarity amidst the chaos, Sarah realized the maze thrived on fear and uncertainty, feeding off their emotions to sustain its cursed existence. With a steely resolve, she performed the ritual, channeling her fear into a beacon of defiance. The maze convulsed in response, its walls trembling as if in agony, then fell silent. As dawn broke, Sarah emerged from the labyrinth, shaken but triumphant. Behind her, Ravenshade Manor loomed in the early light, its maze now still and dormant. The group reunited outside the estate grounds, their faces pale and haunted by the ordeal they had survived. Sarah's gaze lingered on the maze, knowing its secrets were now hers alone. In the days that followed, they returned to their lives, forever changed by the labyrinth's ordeal. Sarah carried with her a newfound strength, a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unfathomable horrors. And though the memory of the maze of madness would haunt their dreams, it also served as a testament to their courage and unity in the face of insurmountable odds. As for Ravenshade Manor and its labyrinth, it remained a cautionary tale, a reminder to tread carefully in the presence of ancient mysteries, for not all who enter the darkness emerge unscathed.